So, I wanted to cover something that I have covered before. I know I have. But it's been a while, and I didn't cover that many options on this particular topic. And it is creating your own work, making your own work, and essentially hiring yourself to do stuff. And it's a weird and interesting kind of concept or idea that a lot of voice actors technically do, but don't know that they're doing, or a lot of other voice actors do, but nobody really understands or respects or notices that it is a thing. And it is hiring yourself, or basically creating your own work. Now, what this means is, let's say you want to get into cartoons. Nobody's hiring you for cartoons. Sometimes it's easier for you to make a cartoon than it is for you to be in a cartoon. Now, this isn't always, and obviously the quality of a cartoon that you'd be able to make is going to very much depend on what's available to you, your resources, and your skills in that field. So it's not going to be a one-for-one. It's not going to be, like a 30-minute series that you're going to be able to produce on your own. You could do that, but genuinely speaking, if you're trying to get more experience, more notice, and more recognized as a character cartoon voice actor, you could make your own cartoons. There are tons of programs and software out there that is really, really inexpensive or straight up free that you could learn to use to animate something or create specific kinds of content. Obviously, there is free software for audio, but a lot of people don't know that there's also free software for animation, for art, for 3D animation, that kind of stuff. For example, one of my favorite art and animation programs, or apps rather, is Rough Animator. It's for iPad. It actually also has a desktop version. It's completely free, and it is designed to do frame-by-frame animation, which I found, didn't know that I was more comfortable doing frame-by-frame animation than I am rigging up puppets and doing keyframe animation. There's just something about it that is hard for me to wrap my head around. The intro to my videos was something that I animated myself, and I did the voiceover in it, obviously. And there's probably going to be other cartoons and animation that I'm going to be doing, not huge productions, but stuff that's similar to that kind of very basic animation that I'll probably be doing, and I'll, animate it. And thus, I will be doing the voiceover in it. And if I monetize it on YouTube, I will be making money. Thus, I have hired myself to do voiceover. I've thus made my own work. Now, you can also, learn Blender and things like Unity and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that are actually creating, and I've been in a couple of them, creating basically full movies using nothing but the Unreal Engine or Unity. Yes, they are technically designed mostly for video game, but there's a lot, due to the fact that they do have the ability to render cutscenes in them, people are using them for full production. The lighting is good. It's easy to import assets and rig them up and model them, and it's easy to import mocap, stuff like that. So there's a lot of people that are just making full-on CGI, most of them are not that great, CGI films straight through one of these programs. And there's a lot of coding that you can just import. You don't even got to learn too much coding to get some things to work right. And there's some websites that you can actually just go buy motion capture and just integrate it into your thing. Now, of course, this is very low budget. This is very cheap. And unless you're doing something that is going to capitalize on kind of the cheesy, low budget nature, which all the productions that I've been in that have gone this way have kind of done, they've kind of capitalized on the fact that this isn't supposed to be Hollywood. This isn't supposed to be Pixar. This is clearly supposed to be tongue-in-cheek and very funny and not be taken too seriously. But I've gotten hired to do that, and it's very easy for these companies, for these filmmakers, for these animators to use these programs. And things like Blender, which is for 3D modeling, but you can do the entire production through Blender. It's 100% free. And then there's also Unity and Unreal, which can do a lot of the same stuff. I don't know how. I think they're also free, but there's a whole bunch of like features and add-ons and assets that do cost something. So don't quote me on how much of them is completely free, but you get the idea. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff that you could do. Then there's also things like you could create a dramatic podcast or a radio drama kind of thing, where it's all audio, where it's an entire thing that you've written that you're doing basically the Foley and the sound effects and the background music and the background noise, and you're doing all the audio and dialogue and stuff like that, and then you're just producing that, putting that online for people to hear. And again, that's voiceover, and that's work that you've created for yourself to make money off of, thus hiring yourself, thus creating your own work. Now, there's tons of different methods or ideas, different avenues for doing this kind of thing, for creating your own work, for creating your own content, for hiring yourself. These are just a few that have come to my mind. These are just a few that I've done. You could also make your own audiobook. Find some audiobooks that are royalty-free or in the public domain, like Dracula, Frankenstein, classic works of literature, and you could basically just record those, make sure it's good production, put it on a line that you can monetize. YouTube is often the best source for that, and thus you've created your own work. You've hired yourself and you've done your own product. These are really good ways of, number one, getting experience, number two, gaining exposure, and number three, making a small amount of income, especially if you're putting it on YouTube where it can be monetized. Then all you have to do is market the crap out of it. And because you're creating the product and you're hiring yourself, you are going to be gaining revenue. It's not like you're being hired by someone else who's going to be collecting all the royalties and all the monetization, and all you're being done is being paid a small amount up front. You're going to be collecting royalties over time. You just want to make sure that it's really, really good, and that way people keep watching, people like it, so on and so forth, and you'll collect revenue as time goes on. You could also write books and then do the audiobook for it. This is something that I've kind of gotten into recently, is started to write my own novels, and with hopes of doing the audiobook or doing an animated version of these later on. And then I would be basically hiring myself to do this kind of work. These are ideas for how you could go about making money and getting work by someone you know is going to hire you. Because a lot of the times there are so many other voice actors that, you don't realize how many voice actors you're going up against anytime you audition, anytime you're trying to contact a client, anytime you're trying to contact a studio. So it's very, very hard, especially nowadays, to get seen sometimes, especially if you're in that you're good but you're not amazing category. Because there's going to be a lot of people in that category. A lot of the people that are below that category, that are in the, this is not a good demo category, they quickly move in or out of their bracket. They either give up, or they quickly learn what it is that they've done wrong, and quickly move into the kind of middle ground category. It's very, very rare, and it's very hard to move past that and to get in the more professional or the higher tiers. But, if you're in this category, in the middle kind of usual general masses, I guess, category, it's going to be very hard for you to get work, get auditions. You should still be auditioning, you should still be shooting for it, so you're trying to get an agent, but quite often that's going to be the hardest area for you to get noticed and to actually get picked up, because you're going to be competing against a lot of people, and a lot of them probably are going to get the role more than you do. They're going to understand the role more than you, or they're just going to sound like the character in the casting director's mind more than you do. So it may be worth your time and energy to learn other areas, other fields, which you should be doing anyway. No voice actor lives off voiceover alone. Every voice actor has something else to their repertoire, whether it's writing, whether it's filmmaking, whether it's animation, art, what have you. Music. A lot of them do music and singing. My thing is that I'm trying to get into everything because I liked doing everything or trying to get into everything, as many different entertainment avenues as possible when I was younger. And now I kind of have to do the same thing. And I'm kind of diving into these other areas that I put some time and energy into earlier on and trying to revitalize them, trying to give them more juice, more energy to hopefully make some money. I have posted some of my really garbagey, terrible short stories online, and so far I think I've made like $50, which has told me that even the worst of my crap, even the worst of my writing, which I will never share with anybody, by the way. These are writings that I've used a pseudonym, and no one's going to find them ever. I'm going to make sure of that. And, but I could... It's told me that even my worst is worth something to somebody. So now I can put in a little bit more time and energy to learning how to properly write and format a novel, a actual story. And that's something that I've been doing. And I had to watch a lot of videos, had to go talk to a lot of people, had to do a lot of practicing, read a lot of stories that I personally find interesting to learn what was in them that I liked. So due to the fact that I'm not getting a lot of work doing the roles I really wish I was getting, and I'm not getting the kinds of auditions that I wish I was getting, that empty space, that time that I would have been spending towards doing the roles that I personally believe that I'm worth, I'm learning other things that I can hire myself to do to get more exposure, to possibly make some more money, and to also have fun. That's why there's a lot of animation that I'm getting into and posting. Same thing as the audiobook. Animation and art was something that I did a lot more when I was younger, and now I'm diving more into it. So at least 2 days out of the week, I'm spending time learning and focusing on art and animation. I'm really practicing these general rules of animation, motion, art, graphics. I'm truly trying to get the basics. I'm not spending any money as of right now. Not spending any money learning these. So it's mostly just free stuff online. But like this channel has shown you guys, there's tons of free resources out there that you can genuinely learn from and gain education, and then take those skills and do something with. So that's what I would educate you. Not what I would educate you guys to do. That's what I would encourage you guys to do, is to find something else that you can do, that you can basically do on your own and produce, and then hire yourself to do the voiceover for, and then post it on your YouTube channel or post it on whatever platform you can make money off of, and hire yourself. Make your own work. Since you're not getting that much work and your time isn't spent doing voiceover nonstop, doing audiobooks or doing this and doing that, while you have that time, learn another skill that can complement or go in tandem with voiceover that isn't voiceover. Whether it's writing, whether it's art, whether it's animation, whether it's doing Foley work, whether it's doing music production. Learn something else that you can then combine and to create a full product that you can sell and that you can profit off of in one way or another. Exposure, education, training, money, what have you. That's what I would suggest. So think outside the box. Don't just think of just voiceover and just working for other people. Work for yourself. Do stuff for yourself. Make your own product. Hire yourself to do things. So there you go. that's the video for today. I actually kind of feel like this one's a little bit more helpful than some of the others that I've been posting recently, just because a lot of people don't think of this kind of thing. And I've said this before in other videos, but I don't think I've broken it down like this, so hope this was helpful. If it was, give the video a thumbs up. If not, totally fine. Thumbs down, totally fine. Not gonna blame you. But you do have to say why you thumbs it down, otherwise it doesn't count. You gotta let me know. How else gonna get better? So yeah, that's gonna be it. And until next time, peace.